We are
LaChiMoLaLa.
LaChiMoLaLa. And we are going to be discussing Run BTS episode 146, which is a continuation of 145 and the prequel to 147. It's the Empire Strikes Back of this trilogy, hopefully.
Yeah.
And in the first one, the guys went back in time to I'm not going to say it right. Say it.
I mean, I don't even know if I could say it right. Is it
Yosen era?
G-
Josen era?
Joseon?
Is it a hard J or no J? I don't know. Is it a silent J?
I don't know.
Anyway, they went back in time to any historical K-drama. You know what they look like with the hats. All the guys have hats. And they were trying to solve the mystery of the broken army headstone. There's thieves, there's spies. It's also a continuation of some episodes a while back where they were in like a 70s, 80s village. It's really just a really complicated version of Mafia. With way better sets and costumes than I've ever done it with. How about you?
Yeah, costumes. Oh my gosh, love the costumes for sure.
So all the guys have their roles. We don't know who's what, who's the spy, who's a citizen. They're looking for hints, they're shopping for clues, and it's really hard to tell who's playing nice, I think.
Okay, so let's just like dive into one for
Yeah, get into it.
Okay, seriously. All right. I was very I was so uncertain like after this whole entire episode because our last like discussion on 145 I was so confident that yeah it's RM and yeah it's Jimin, it has to be them, and then now I think it might be Suga, but
I think it is too.
can it be the obvious, like okay he's holding something, but then they never said like oh yeah, because like remember Jungkook, like he had a brush too, but he said he dropped it. So
And Jin has a fan.
yeah,
Jin's been carrying a fan the whole time.
yeah. So
He
it's
has a
like
sword.
yes, and so like even though they're not touching it or holding it the whole time, it's on their body or something, and so it's like technically they could have held that, but it's like so confusing. And so I'm like, all right, so is it Jin, Suga, and Jungkook, or and I'm like, but Jimin is very suspicious too, It's
The
like
fact that he wanted to go to the government building so bad, like he really wanted to be in one group and he didn't want to be with the other group. And I wasn't sure if that was because he thought that they were the spies or because he's the spy.
yeah, and I felt the same way because I was like, why is he so apprehensive about like going, and like the way he just like pretty much like, okay, I'm gonna go with you, we're gonna split it up this way, and that's how it is. And I just love like how J-Hope though, he's like, what's up with this weird vibe? And so like I wish that they shot more of their facial expressions,
Yeah.
because like obviously like J-Hope is like very, very like expressive. So it's kind of funny to like to see him laugh and just say
Yeah.
that. But I wish like they kind of zoomed in with everyone else's face because I was like, oh.
Well, and I thought it was interesting. Everyone keeps saying that V's the spy, but V was the one who was like, shouldn't we all go together? Why should we split up? Like he wanted everyone to be together so he could see what everyone was doing. And
Yeah.
everyone was like, no, we have to split up. We have to split up. And
But
I was
that's
like, okay.
but then that's kind of interesting too, because like even though he wanted everyone to like stay together, like maybe that was part of his plan too, like maybe he could strike at time where like, like they would see it, But
That's
like
true.
I have to say though, like V was he's so amazing, like doing this like role playing. I was like, what the heck? Like he's just so hilarious. Like once you tell him, okay, you're a warrior, he's like 150% into it. And I was like, yo, this guy is like really good at his stuff, And
It
yeah,
was
there
so
were
good.
moments that he was playing with a cat, but that's okay, Like I'm sure back in the day, not all warriors, like I don't know.
Everyone needs a break now and then.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I loved the part where J-Hope found that cat again, and the cat was like talking to him, and it was like, "Come here, hurry up, what's going on?"
Even meow, meow. And then like I was like, what? Okay.
It's
Yeah.
funny. I know that V seems really suspicious, but I still don't think it's him. I
I
really don't think it's him.
I
I just feel like he's so committed and just like having fun that like he'd be a little more stressed out if it was him, or he'd at least be trying harder to throw suspicion off of himself. He's
yeah.
making himself real suspicious.
Yeah, it's yeah. I don't think it's him either. Like I don't get that vibe. Though if it turns out to be him, I'll be like, what the hell?
Then we'll both be in trouble.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, maybe we're not good at this guessing game. No, but like the hints were like, okay, it kind of, I mean, I could kind of see what that they were coming from because they were saying like, oh, a war, like, the spy is like really upper level, which brings back to RM because he's the magistrate,
Yeah,
so and he deals with people,
yeah.
so and I feel like a painter or a teacher, like, yeah, they deal with people, but I mean, they're not as high like as a royal inspector or a magistrate.
Yeah, and if you think about it, wasn't RM carrying something in the beginning too? That he said he lost. Remember, he said he lost something because it's RM. He loses and breaks
Oh,
everything.
yeah. I don't remember.
I think he was because the thing about RM, where I mean, first of all, he's super smart, but he does
Yeah.
a great job, I feel like, in throwing off any suspicion. Because when he was doing that one clue, like you said, about how it's someone higher up, he's like, here are the suspects. And he included himself, but then went, of course, it's not me. But he still included himself in the list. So it seems less suspicious. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it could totally be him. Why wouldn't it be him?
Yeah.
Even though maybe he's not holding it in his hand, but he has that medal. Like
Yeah.
they all had something.
Yeah. J-Hope has had that badge. So it could be him
Yeah.
too. So yeah, like I'm thinking like Jimin is probably taking it very literal, like
Yeah.
I don't know, like I guess I want to see the note for myself. Does
Yeah,
it
I
say does
do.
it
I
even say
totally do.
like holding it all the time? Because I get a royal inspector wouldn't show off his like badge all the time. Like he's kind of like is that like an equivalent to a detective like back in the day?
I don't know. Yeah. Is it like undercover? I mean, they keep saying he's like undercover, right? I mean,
Yeah,
at least that's
yeah.
what the subtitles say. Who knows if that's what it really is?
Yeah, because like if that's the case, then like you wouldn't flash your badge all the time, I guess. So I guess you wouldn't be holding. But then like Jimmy was like very like he was very adamant about J Hope not being one of the spies. And
Yeah.
but he's suspicious. Jimin is suspicious because he keeps saying, I'm not the spy, I'm not the spy. But and it's like, uh-huh.
Oh,
Okay.
that part where he said, "I'll hold the hints because I'm not the spy," and
Yeah.
everyone's like, "What? No, that's what the spy would say."
Yeah. Oh my gosh, he's so
I don't. Yeah, you're right. He's very, very suspicious, but I don't know. I can't tell. I can't tell if it's him or not. I really can't. And the way he's trying to work so hard with J Hope makes me think that maybe it isn't him.
yeah, I don't know.
Um,
But okay, but then the hint though, even though like he keeps saying like, did it say for the hint that I didn't get this impression. I got that hint of him saying like, okay, it's some like the spy is one shy, which leads me to Suga. I can
mhm.
kind of see that. But then like at the same time, like the spy like always holding on to something. But then it sounds like there's multiple spies, right? So they
Yes.
could be referring to like these hints to like different spies that are one could be shy, but the other one is not. And if it's somebody who's shy that deals with the public all the time, it's like I think it might be someone else too. I mean, like it's definitely I feel like that hint is not just all three,
Yeah,
it's
and you're right. That's the
multiple different.
problem. Like when you hear the hints, you naturally want to like pile them up like it's an equation. But you're right. They're probably for three different people. So if there's only like two per person, but we don't know which ones go with which one.
Yeah. Yeah, so I that's what I think. I think okay, definitely like okay, Suga because he's holding like the teacher thingy, that stick.
Hmm.
Yeah, okay, I get that. Okay, Jim, and I'll give you that. But then like he's shy, so I could see that too. But then like for the other two, I feel like are they all gonna hold something in their hand? Like I don't think
Yeah.
so, so I don't
I
know.
did think that RM made a lot of sense when he was talking about how he thought there were three because there were several clues that said many instead of just a few.
Yeah,
Or so it did seem like because they told them it could be two or three.
yeah.
And why even say that if there's not a big possibility? I don't know. Though he made a lot of sense in arguing that it was three people, and if it's three people, then it's even more confusing. Yeah,
Yeah, because J-Hope confirmed it though, right? When they went
I think
to the
so.
yeah, I like when they went to the jail cell, like with J-Hope and Jimin, like they were walking and they're like, oh my gosh, mannequins scare me. Okay, can I say though, like J-Hope is so hilarious. Like he didn't even want to go in there, in
Nope.
that jail area. And he's like, oh, it's so scary, and I'm like, oh my gosh, classic Kobe, he's so funny.
I love who said mannequins scare them. Was that J Hope or Jimin?
Jimin doesn't like mannequins, but
Yeah,
like J-Hope was like, this is like scary,
yeah,
like, yeah, and he didn't even want to go inside, which is hilarious because it's all fake,
yeah, yeah. I loved how sidebar. So while we're at the the jail. I loved how Suga hid from the royal army by going into the cell, and I mean, obviously the guy knew it was him, but he was like, "Okay, I can't see you."
Yeah, that was really funny. And that made me think like, oh, maybe like the army's in cahoots with obviously the spy because they're on the same
Ooh.
side too, so that they're like, okay, we'll let them go.
That's true. We don't know that if they're working for them or against them. We're not sure.
Yeah. Yes. Mind blown. Yeah. So I mean, like they are chasing him, but then like it sounded like they were chasing in that particular scene. They were chasing or they were looking for Jungkook.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they've been looking for him a lot. Like he keeps running away. He ran away in the first episode too.
Yeah. Okay, that
So
guy's
why do they
scary though.
specifically want him? I gotta wonder.
Yeah. And he's not mentioned a lot either. Like no one's accusing him of I mean, except for Jimin. Jimin's accusing
He's
everyone
accusing
and like
everyone though. He's accusing everyone, which is
yeah,
super suspicious.
yeah. He's like yeah, he's just accusing everyone of being a spy except for J-Hope.
Yeah.
So but yeah, like okay, but for him, for Jungkook though, like okay, he's been holding I don't know. I don't know.
What?
Okay.
What?
Well, I was like, well, he was also like holding all those scarves too, but I guess it's like more for like getting the hints too. Like I was thinking like,
Yeah.
well, even though like, he lost his painter stick, like the whole time he had all the scarves on him too. Like he was holding a lot of the scarves until he finally put it like as like some sort of like belt or something.
Yeah. So he had something in his hand, is what you're saying.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but again, it sounds like it's multiple spies too. Like the whole thing is frustrating. I'm like, the end of the second episode, I was like, dude, who's the spy? And then they're all like, there's a part three.
I know. I really thought it was only going to be 2 episodes. I was shocked. I was like,
Yeah.
what? What's happening? I kind of liked how the guys were just as appalled as we were. Like, I forget who, but somebody at the end was like, this will never end.
Oh yeah, Jimmy said that. Oh my gosh, yeah.
I was like, it won't. It never will. I mean, I feel like V and Jungkook were both getting bored at one point. There was that one, like, still where it was like, Jimin, it was like V, Jimin, and then was it maybe Jin and then Jungkook, and like they all had different things over them, and like V's was like in his own world, Jungkook's was like braiding because he was braiding the scarves, like not listening. Jimin was like disappointed in himself because he hadn't found any clues, and
Yeah.
Jin was like frustrated. It was just like they were all just like, what the hell? What's going on?
Okay, it's so weird. Okay, speaking of Jin though, like when they all split up, right? Jin was actually with Suga, Jimin, V, and Jin, right? They're all like one team. they split up. Yeah, like I wonder how he broke away from them. They didn't really show that because later on Jimin was like, oh, yeah, Jin must be the spy because he's not around.
He said he was going to whatever that thing is, the hint tent or the activity tent, whatever they're calling it. That's where he said he was going, but we never saw him there. We only saw him like wandering around by himself getting other clues. So
Yeah,
yeah, it was kind of weird. It was like he just decided not to go with them. It's like, why? Why do you get to decide? No one else got to decide.
yeah. So I was like, huh, this is interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like my mind was like, what is happening right now? Like, who's the spy?
And I liked how V got that hint about the book, and it was actually super, super useful, but he's not sharing with anyone. And it's like, does that make him more suspicious or less suspicious? Like,
Yeah.
instead of, sharing what he got, he was just repeating the poem, and Sugar was like, whatever, that guy.
That was fun. I love Suga's like expression though, like classic Suga, right? Because he looked at him and he's like, "What? Whatever, not interested. Okay, bye." But like V was so amazing. Like he was so dramatic with like that poem, like him reciting it. It's like
My gosh, it was so good. It
he had
was
so
perfect.
much soul. Like he's sure to memorize this. Yeah.
But the guys hadn't seen that was his challenge, so they didn't know what the hell he was doing. They were like, whatever, free.
Yeah. Totally.
I
Yeah.
feel like RM is doing the most work, like not with finding the clues, but with like trying to like put them together in some sort of like, in some sort of plot form or whatever. He's trying to like link them all together so they can understand what it means. But does that mean that he's not the spy because he's working really hard to figure out the hints? But didn't they say that if the spies are with them when they reunite the army bomb in the correct place, then they won't get out, right? Like
Yeah.
the spies can ruin it not by being discovered, but by just staying with the other people.
Yeah. Oh.
So you could helping them could be in your best interest because you'll still win.
Yeah. True. Yeah, you're right. Because it seemed like initially they wanted to um we didn't it seemed like it all came together, like obviously like towards the end, like they were sharing like hints and stuff. But yeah, like everyone just came to RM to like say, oh, this is what I figured out, or hey, this is what's going on. And poor J Hope too, like everyone's always shouting for him too. It's like, why is everyone like asking for me? They think that I'm a spy.
You're right. There was a point where every single person they'd find a clue and say, "Oh, I need to find RM. Oh, I need to find RM." And it's like, why? Why have we decided that he's not the spy?
Yeah.
He hasn't really proven that he's not the spy either. Like,
Yeah. Because I know for sure because Arm's so good at figuring out puzzles and stuff
yeah.
like that because he's like so smart, right? Yeah, actually I watched like this excerpt. I forgot this Korean variety show. I need to send it to you. But he figures out all of these puzzles, problems, critical thinking, where all these other guys like struggled. They were on a struggle bus. So after seeing that like variety show and see how his mind works, like, well, he's naturally smart anyways. We knew that already, but it's just like this particular clip I saw like literally like last night, and so I'm like, this is like really good stuff because he's super smart because I wouldn't think of like figuring out all these like riddles and he's so good at that. So I think because like the members know like how smart he is, like they're like, okay, well, he'll figure it out,
They just naturally gravitate towards giving him
yeah,
the
they just
information.
they just naturally go to him just for like answers. But which is really interesting that they don't gravitate towards J-Hope because he figured out two really important things. One, like he found like part of the what was that part of that paddle
Army
thing?
bomb?
Yeah, the army bomb thing, like from the why can I not figure out the words like right now? That little like it's not a hut. It's
I don't know. Was it a pagoda? I'm not
yeah,
sure.
yeah, type of thing. Yeah. He found that, and then he figured out that there's like three spies from like the
Mhm.
going to that prison,
I
So
did think it was almost insulting how much Jimin was impressed that he'd figured that clue out. Like, it went from being like, bro, you're so smart, to like, how did you figure this out? It's so, wow, you're amazing today. Today. You're amazing. You're really doing good on this challenge. I don't know. I'm sure it wasn't meant that way, but it was just funny because he kept saying it, and I'm like, is he
yeah.
normally shit at this? Like,
but
even
Jacob did
Jacob
say
said,
though,
I'm the
like
ace today. He was finding out about the Lucy's like, I'm the ace. I'm doing it. I'm killing it.
oh, but Jacob did say, I think it was it. Now I'm getting the episodes confused. I think Jacob did say like, oh, I'm really good at this today, So he did compliment himself. So because he found like so many hints. Yeah, he found like random hints like buried under like bricks.
Yeah.
Whereas you see Jin, he's walking up the steps and there's like a note between the crack that's like so, I guess like obvious. Like it'd be obvious to me because I have a tendency when I walk on the stairs, like I look down because I have
Wow.
like, this like little like weird like phobia where I'm gonna trip and like roll down the stairs. So I have a tendency to look down when I walk. But that's a me thing. And I
So
don't
you
know
would have seen
why.
it right away.
I would see it right away, but I don't know why I told the whole world about my phobia. But you know, but yeah, like I would have found it, but like he totally didn't. He just like, whoop. But
I
Jay,
love how the cameraman kept like angling the camera, being like, come here. It's over
yeah, yeah. And
here.
they gave Jin like so many hints too until they finally say, "Oh, there it is,"
I'd
So
much rather be Jin's cameraman than Jungkook's because it's just a lot of running. It's just
yeah,
running. And he doesn't know where he is. He gets lost. He can't figure out which way is the restaurant and which way is the government house. So he always like runs a bunch and then it's like, oh no, and then runs a bunch.
yeah, yeah. He's okay. He's super fit for starters. So that cameraman, whoever they chose like to like be his cameraman, like he has to be like, I think I said this in the last episode that we were talking about this, but like that cameraman has to be super fit because I feel like 90% of the scenes that we see him in, he's always running because he's like so excited,
Yeah.
like especially when he found, which I thought was funny because it took him forever to find like that navy scarf, and then
Yes.
after he found it, like he kept finding like the same navy scarf. Well, what's that called? Like in science, like Murphy's law, or
Yeah.
what do you call that? Is it
Were they
Murphy?
all in that one building and he just hadn't been to that building?
I don't know, but it was so funny. And then like even then he's like, I gotta go to the ability station, and he was just like zooming out, and I'm like, yo.
I really hope that they rotate for the camera people. Like they each like they don't have to stay with the same person all the time. Like it'd be too much.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like oh my gosh. I
It's
mean,
like just so different from Suga though, who was just like dun da dun da dun da dun, looking in a
yeah.
pot, looking in a drawer.
And like when he discovers something, ooh, a hint,
A hit. It's very mellow.
Yeah,
Very
he's
chill.
so chill. But with like Jungkook, he's like, I found it finally, like ability station, let's go. Maybe I'll get 2 hints. Okay, so now that we're talking about him, all right, so he found 2 sets of scarves, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
he went to the ability station, but then like he only asked one question, and
Well, but remember when he was running there, he dropped some and we didn't see him go back for them.
oh, okay,
Remember Jimin was like, you're dropping stuff again. And he just kept running. So
yeah,
maybe he didn't have 2 complete sets by the time he got there.
I see. Okay, that
But
that
I
makes
think you're right. I thought it was weird too. I was like, why didn't he go back and get
yeah,
2?
yeah. Maybe he's that exciting because like he finally like could get a hint.
And they didn't tell us what his hint was. And he was obviously very confused by it.
Yeah, because I feel like that hint would probably blow the whole entire cover of everything. So
But
that's
he was like, huh?
yeah. I was so curious about that too because I was like, come on, tell us. But I
I'm
feel
hoping that was, since it was right towards the end, I'm hoping that was like the cliffhanger that we'll find out at the beginning of the next episode.
yeah. Yeah, because
Okay, so now that you've seen this episode, if you had to guess who's the spy, you're okay. So the first time you thought it was
Jimin and RM.
Jimin and RM. Would you stick with those?
You know what? Like,
You can have three, I
I'm
think.
definitely okay. So I'm still gonna say it's RM for sure. I'm saying it's RM because he's okay. First, he's super smart. Not to say that everyone else is not, but like, I feel like all this information that he has, like, he could work with it. Plus, if we're going with like the hints that we are hearing, like, okay, this person has to deal with other people. This person is very high level. This person, potentially could have some like is always holding something, though. Though again, in my mind, I think it's like, okay, there's multiple spies and multiple clues, so like we don't know which one's which, right? But already he's already high up there and he deals with people. So I mean, it could be J-Hope too because he has that badge and he's high up there, or V2, but I still think it's RM because like I think he's really cool and collective. Like when someone accuses him, he's like, "No, it's not me," kind of thing, But he's not like so mad about it. But then again, that's kind of his personality too, so that's kind of hard. But I'm like, dang it. But I'm gonna stick to RM and Jimin for sure because Jimin is super suspicious. Like,
I agree. He's really suspicious. Like it's hard. I didn't think it was him in the beginning, but it's kind of hard not to think it's him.
yeah, yeah. I feel like even though like I think he's trying to confuse people too, because like with J-Hope, he's like, okay, this person is holding something. Has to be sugar. Has to be sugar. Um, which like okay, I get, but like if there's multiple people, like why couldn't it be you? Like totally could be you, because like I feel all signs is pointing to him. Like he's not good at covering it. So I mean, like I don't know, or maybe I don't know. Like I'm gonna stick with Jimin. He's mighty suspicious to me. And then third, like oh, it's a toss up between Jin and Suga, but I'm gonna go with Suga because like but his personality again is very like cool and collective, and he is holding something, but so is Jin too. But then like he's not really I don't know. It's like I don't know who the third person is, but I'm gonna go with Suga. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with my two and then
Okay.
add Suga into the mix. What about you?
I definitely think Suga's one of them. 100%. Also, because remember, there are all those clues that was talking about that they needed to go to, and they couldn't really decide what the word was. They couldn't decide if it was the government office or the schoolhouse.
Oh
They were
yeah,
saying it
was it
was like
that
houses.
was
What
it
was it?
the chicken coop scene? Is that why?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Okay.
And they were like trying to, it was like a place where someone lives, but where people come through all the time. And it was like, technically, I guess RM's magistrate would have lived at the government house, but they were saying Sugar would have lived at the schoolhouse too.
Yeah.
So I don't know that plus the holding things. Plus, I feel like Sugar's really good at like flying under the radar. He's not too quick to accuse a bunch of other people, which
Yeah.
stops people from accusing him.
Yeah.
I just thought I mean, of course, he's always calm, cool, and collected, but I thought there were enough little things that I'm gonna stick with Sugar. I think I said that in the first episode
Yeah.
too. I'm gonna
Yeah.
stick with Sugar for sure.
Yeah.
Um, I've come around to Jimin. I mean, I was suspicious a little in the first time. I'll say it again. It's weird that he has no job. Everyone else has a job. He doesn't have a job, and they said one of the thieves is an outsider.
Ah,
So
yes, I forgot about that.
to me, just being a wealthy bachelor, that doesn't mean you're from this town. You could be from anywhere. You could be from 5 towns over or whatever.
Yeah.
So I just find that really suspicious. And the fact that he seems to be trying so hard to put suspicion on everyone else.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna go for him for sure. So that's Suga and Jimin. Also, side note, whatever lip gloss Jimin is wearing, I want it. How do
I
I get
know, seriously.
has
100%.
never looked more like a beautiful flower boy in his entire life. And I'm saying something because the man is gorge. But give me some of that. Like,
100% girl.
it's so
100%.
shiny. It's like the perfect pink. I was just like, oh my God, I love it. They
Yes.
should be advertising for that right now. And then, you know what, for my third, I'm torn. I'm really suspicious of Jin because of his reaction when he found out what they were doing.
Yeah.
But he hasn't really shown anything to show that he's the spy. So, and he does seem to be trying to put his hints together, and he's frustrated that he's not finding all of his clues for his personal mission. But I'm not sure if that's just because he's trying to like figure out who the other spies are.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm unsure. Like, do they get points if they figure out who the other spies are? You know, if they can expose someone else, does that help them? I don't know. So
I don't know either.
I feel like he's really suspicious, but I'm not sure that I'm all in on him.
Yeah.
I feel like Jungkook's also super suspicious, but
Why? Why?
but sometimes I feel like he's not like he's not paying that much attention. Like he's paying attention, but he's like only half focused on it.
Well, he's
So
good about that. You know, he's good playing a spy too. Like,
yeah, he sometimes can play off the like, oh, I'm a baby. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
You know?
And
So
he
I thought
knows
that
exactly what's going on.
yeah. Like he in his own way, he's pulling a V, right?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I'm just braiding my scarves. Oh, but he's desperate to get away from the royal army.
Yeah.
And he did seem like he really wanted to find clues and stuff, but he's not necessarily helping that much.
That's true.
He's super competitive, so it's kind of weird that he's not helping as much as he could. So I don't know, Jin or Jungkook, I'm not sure. Probably one of them. I probably guess completely wrong. It's probably none of them. But I'm sticking. Sugar's the only one I've kept the whole time. I'm sticking with him 100%.
Yeah, I could totally see that for sure. Yeah.
I'm just excited to see the next one, to see what happens, because if they don't finish, we know that they're going to get transported to another time. So
oh my gosh. Oh,
that would be just so crazy. This would be the longest challenge they've ever done.
But it sounds like from the preview though, like they uncover it one by one. So just from their expressions. So I think that they're gonna finish this challenge for sure.
I'm hopeful. I believe in them. I believe in you guys. You can do it.
We believe in you. And you, all 7 of you. Yeah. Yeah, but it sounds like they're being uncovered, and from V's like expression, like at the end, like in the when he finally goes through like the puzzle with that chemistry book or whatnot.
Yeah.
I think he figures out, like I'm pretty sure V's gonna figure out who's who. But
yeah, I think that book is key, and if he doesn't figure out all of them, he'll at least know one for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I wonder if it's gonna be like a domino effect.
Yeah, if you figure out one, is it easy then to tie them together somehow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So complicated. So much happening.
Yeah. All right. Whoever did these Run BTS episodes, great job. High five. Because you totally confused us all. This is really good. Like,
is that writer a bonus?
I know. Yeah. Get that guy or girl paid. You know, like they did a great job, because it's like it's making us like, wait, what? Oh my gosh, you know, like, oh, and I bet you like once they start unveiling like who are the spies, it's gonna be like mind blown.
Yes.
Duh. It's just like right in front of our faces, you know. So
well, I'm excited to see how it all turns out.
Yeah, same here. So I guess that's it for our little recap of episode 146. Do you have anything else to add, like any scenes that you want to talk about, or
no, I just hope that there's more guest starring cats. It's always lovely. I love a cat cameo. I'm a sucker for it, so keep them coming.
Yeah, I wonder if they're truly feral though. They can't be feral. Like,
I don't know, that one got right in V's lap. If it's feral, then he is literally so handsome that any animal just falls into his lap, just falls in.
Yeah, because I'm like, feral cats don't act like that, like they get very hissy and,
Mhm.
get out of my space. But like
These
that,
cats are probably fed by whoever runs the village, right? So
I
they're
think
not like
so.
super feral,
Yeah. So,
I hope.
yeah. They seem really friendly, except that one time when I think that same cat kind of like did this, right? To
Oh yeah, yeah. It
yeah.
was like, stop petting me and feed me.
Yeah. They're all pretty like domesticated though.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah. All right. Well, I think we've touched on all the points that we wanted to talk about. So, um, at the end of the day, we're solid on one. My solid answer would be Jimin for sure.
And I'm going for sugar.
Okay.
So hopefully we'll get 2 out of 3.
Yes. Yes. So, all right. So that's it for today's episode. So if you like and or what am I saying? If you like this video, please like and subscribe to our channel. We'll be doing all these Run BTS recaps and our thoughts and stuff like that. And hey, if you want to add to discussion, comment below. We want to hear all your thoughts as well. If you agree with us or if you disagree, let us know. Comment. So that's it for today. So
We are
LaChiMoLaLa.
LaChiMoLaLa.
And we out.
Bye.
Bye.